The PlayStation is one of the most dominant and best-selling innovations that is enjoyed, loved, and treasured globally from the year 1994 to current day and age. What is fascinating about this very device is that the designers at Sony Interactive Entertainment continue to amaze and flatter gamers from all around the world with immersive technological features along with the modernistic and charming design appearances. Since the launch of the original PlayStation in 1994, the device has only continued to evolve, and since the initial launch, the design of the device, controller, and logo has progressed over time. Has the design of these three functions of the PlayStation steered away from its original design, or do we see a complete new aesthetic with the newest update, the PlayStation 5? At age 44, creator, designer, and engineer Ken Kurotage, aka the father of the PlayStation, who worked for Sony, envisioned a higher quality gaming system. With the desire to change the future of video gaming and video game graphic design, Kurotage worked hard to achieve his dream of developing a multi-modern device that would enthrall video game players. The PlayStation has captivated several people from across the globe, and I wonder if you are particularly captivated by the designs of the highly coveted PlayStation. Sony's apparatus radically and effectively shifted their principles, giving birth to the Sony Computer Entertainment Division. Since the release of the best-selling console in 1994, Sony's sales skyrocketed, and any doubt they had that what they first believed to be merely a toy eradicated as they quickly became one of the world's top best-selling companies in consumer electronics. The success was immediate, and the gaming industry was revolutionized with this ingenious technology design. The PlayStation has been in the market for 29 years now, and there has been in total 5 complete PlayStation console updates. Which design do you like the most? Let's first look at the infamous PlayStation symbols that accentuate the branding. The main digital buttons, a green triangle, red circle, blue X, and a purple square. Designed on the controller, each symbol has a specific designation, such as jump, attack, run, or crawl. What's intriguing about these symbols is that they have remained the same in design since the first console. Immediately, when you think of these symbols, you think PlayStation or Sony. The controller designer, Tieto Goto, intended for the triangle to refer as a viewpoint. The head of the triangle represents a direction, the square represents a piece of paper, menu or documents, the circle and the X represent yes and no for decision making, as it does in Japanese culture. Transforming Sony into Sony Interactive Entertainment. Rather than just a product, the philosophy for the PlayStation was, quote-unquote, gaming is a lifestyle. With 30D graphics, 32-bit RISC CPU, and a stereo CD quality sound, the PlayStation 1 was launched in Japan in December 1994 and released in the United States in September 1995. By December 1999, 70 million PlayStation consoles were sold worldwide. When looking at this device, the first thought you may think is retro, old-fashioned, classic, or just very gray. This design is considered to be the smallest among PlayStations. The simple rectangular structure gives a very basic layout for simple instruction: one button to open the CD-ROM disc holder, one power button, and one reset button, including 2 distinct controller inserts for wired controllers. It may be interesting to note that the device was able to play these games: Dead or Alive, Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy, and Resident Evil. Feeling nostalgic? An original PlayStation controller without any joysticks. Designed by Tieto Goto, as mentioned, featuring grip handles, dual analog sticks for complete control and rumble sensation, is the new PlayStation controller, allowed for games to feel more real life and immersive. In black letters, we see Sony at the very centerpiece of the console. Let's look at the very first PlayStation logo, the colorful P and S. Designed by Manabu Sakamoto, who worked for the creative development department at Sony. This energetic and flashing design captivates the eye and easily draws attention with its bold colors. The red P is followed by the yellow star of the S as it turns green and then blue. It almost appears as though the P is standing high and proud and the S is its reflected shadow. There were several versions of the PlayStation logo in consideration, but this one was the final decision. This logo lasted from 1994 to 2009. With the PlayStation now highly recognized among gamers of all ages from all around the world, the second PlayStation console was released 6 years later, followed by a new and refurbished PlayStation 2 launch, and is released with Ken Kurotage as appointed president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. By November 2005, 100 million PlayStation systems were sold. The second console takes an incredible turn in design, featuring a complete shade of sleek black. The original PlayStation logo is featured on disc ejection, and the PS2 console logo is in bright blue color. This appearance in a way represents a complete maturity and understanding of the gaming system. Along with the PS1, the device has 2 inserts for 2 wired controllers and an insert for a memory card, and easy-to-get-to buttons for power and eject, where you can see the Sony branding logo. The DualShock 2 wired controllers with a complete shade of black and dual analog sticks. Here we see Tieto Goto's controller design. The original multicolored main PlayStation logo, the distinct logo for the second PlayStation console, appears as so. Designed with a geometric font, the two-shaded blue lettering PS2 appears as though it is lighting up. Underneath this is the line PlayStation 2 is written in black narrow sans serif. The PlayStation 3 was launched in Japan and the United States in 2006 in November, releasing the PlayStation Network soon after, followed by a redesign of the PlayStation 3 in September 2007 as soon as Kazuyo Hirai is appointed as president and CEO of SIE, followed by Andrew House, who was appointed CEO and president in 2011. By November of 2013, far less PlayStation 3s were sold than the PS2 and the PS1. The design takes a different turn with a glossy display and a Blu-ray digital player. People consider this console to be the bulkiest when compared to the PS1 and PS2. It's interesting to look at the outward design knowing that there is a complete technological design built on the inside that allows for the device to run. Some of the supportive games for the PS3 console are The Last of Us, Red Dead Redemption, and God of War 3. The PlayStation 3 controller, the DualShock 3, is the first ever wireless controller with haptic feedback. Of course, you have the symbol display, created by Tieto Goto. The original PlayStation logo in red, yellow, and blue, created by Manabu Sakamoto. Followed by an entire new logo for the PlayStation 3 console that was featured in the Spider-Man films. The PS3 redesign featured a new and bigger console logo that is the same color as the console rather than a two-shaded blue like the PlayStation 2. In November 2013, the PlayStation 4 was released in the US before the launch in Japan was in February. In 2017, Andrew House was appointed as chairman, as John Tsuyoshiko Kodera was appointed as president and CEO until his retirement in 2021. With a matte finish on one side and a glossy finish on the other, the fourth version of the PlayStation grew more popular than the third, as it sold 91.6 million PlayStation 4 systems by December 2018. The top half of the PlayStation was slightly elevated higher than the second half, allowing for a more advanced feel. Once the device is turned on, a neon blue light radiates from the middle of the console. Everything about the PS4 was built better than the previous consoles, which of course, as the design gets better, so does the technology. The PlayStation 4 carries a stronger CPU and features an 8GB memory storage. With Tieto Goto's original controller design, senior designer Jed Asworth brought forth a DualShock 4. The difference here is that the front touchpad and motion detection, including the multicolored light bar on top of the controller. Here, we have the PlayStation 4 controller in comparison with the PlayStation 5 controller, which we will get into. Here's a picture of the PlayStation logo in a silver metallic. The PlayStation 4 console logo is the same as the PlayStation 3 with curved lines, just slightly smaller in size. The appearance is trendsetting, modern, and fresh. The PlayStation 5 theme is Play Has No Limits. Welcome to a whole new world of gameplay that has combined gaming and real life into one valuable experience. Our most recent and beloved gaming device, the PlayStation 5, launched worldwide on November 11, 2020, just 2 days after the God of War franchise sold 51 million copies. The newest features include 3D audio, high-quality haptic feedback, and support and adaptive triggers. The design itself was awe-breaking. In fact, the product design was of utmost importance for Sony Interactive Entertainment. The creativity amongst designers for this new console has stunned the gaming world. The intent of the PlayStation 5 was to recall the roots of the PlayStation 1 by describing what a PlayStation really is and what it represents. The new vision for the PlayStation 5 is, quote, a portal that acts as a bridge between the world of games and the real world. Connecting across time and space, the player is instantly transported to the world inside the game, which exists as a multi-dimensional universe. Sony Interactive Entertainment believes that this new console will allow for players to step into a five-dimensional world. The core design narrative is, quote, a powerful body of energy that possesses the limitless potential of 5 dimensions, descends to Earth from a universe in another dimension, and begins to morph into a concrete shape to interact with humans. This narrative serves as our inspiration as we sought to create a design that is imbued with a sense of life for the entire hardware, end quote. An important thing to consider is how online gameplay has transformed completely for the PS4 and PS5. People from all around the world can play together in any PlayStation. Immaculate attention to detail was embarked in designing the PS5. We can see a black center covered with white outer layers that can be removed for cleaning. The black center is meant to represent an infinite energy, and the white panels are meant to express sincere emotion. Once the display is turned on, the blue neon light, which is seen in early PlayStation, shines out from the center of the console. This represents the heart of the console and the sense of life emanating from the inside. A remarkable feature is on the outside of these white panels, which are incredibly small triangles, circles, X's, and squares. The greatest and most advanced PlayStation controller created yet, the PS5 controller design radically changed into a more futuristic, functional, and highly refined DualSense. And DualSense Edge. People love it. Let's start off with the PlayStation control symbols. We see here that the triangle, X, circle, and square is no longer colored as they have been for the PlayStation 1 through the PlayStation 4. With the same design as the console, we see a black center component that is protected with a white surface. The same bright LED blue light emanates from the center of the controller, embodying life with its use. Tieto Goto's design of the infamous triangles, X, circles, and squares cover the handle in incredibly small lettering, allowing for grip strength and giving beautiful texture for the controller, which hasn't been done before. This was intended to bring joy upon discovering. Another feature for the DualSense and DualSense Edge is a built-in microphone. Every detail was carefully considered. The logo for the PS5 was meant to be protected so that the users can recognize the PS5 and feel a sense of comfort with the new system. The logo kept the same style as the PS4 to express the backward compatibility. The PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 console logos remained the same. As you can see, the design of the PlayStation has seen astonishing changes throughout its lifespan. Looking back at the genesis of PlayStation, the first console's intent was to amaze game players across the world and bring them into sensational gameplay that feels like real life. As technology progressed, outstanding worlds and characters have been generated. The one thing that rings true is the heart behind the creation and design of the PlayStation, and that is to give the user a wonderful time inside a universe unlike their own and to feel as though the world inside the game has become the real world. Gaming certainly has become a lifestyle and has no limits, as stated by the designers of Sony Interactive Entertainment.